Hi, and welcome back, and thanks for being here. It is Monday. It's the 6th day of November, and since the time changed over the weekend, well, it's the one of the early but many days ahead where we'll see, of course, darkness falling much earlier than what I suspect any of us would like. So maybe a good thing for me, maybe a more captive audience since it's, well, not as much to do outside in the darkness this early. I still don't like the time change, but indeed a part of life. And the days will continue to get darker earlier, of course, for the next several weeks until we reverse that pattern. Nevertheless, getting on to news tonight, we'll talk about your weather forecast on today's date in our weather history. While we have rain in our forecast through Wednesday and then cooler air thereafter, on today's date back in 77, at the London office of the National Weather Service, they set three records that still stand. A daytime high of 79, a total rainfall amount of 1.93 inches, and the low of 61 degrees. All those records still stand as of today. Our weather is not going to be that exciting, and it's going to be more like the calendar dictates, but I'll have it updated forecast for you in just a few moments. Headlines tonight include: we'll address the threat that was perceived by students and families, parents, which kept most of their children home today from the McGoffin County school system. We'll talk about the threat, what the school system has done to address that, and everything that I can share with you in just a few moments. A serious accident from over the weekend, motorcycle versus car, an update on a local racing team which went out on a big note over the course of the weekend for this season, and a woman who has written apparently a cold check to purchase a car arrested earlier today. Before we get to our local headlines, a couple of other reports, and the first is that of our Attorney General Andy Beshear filing lawsuit today against a pharmaceutical company for what he says was contributing to opioid overdoses and deaths in Kentucky. He says that in 2016, more than 190 Kentuckians died from a drug overdose caused by a powerful prescription opioid 3 times stronger than morphine, and many of the victims were service members or veterans who the Attorney General says were targeted by the pharmaceutical company. Opana ER, manufactured by Endo Pharmaceuticals and Endo Health Solutions, against who Attorney General Andy Beshear filed suit today. He did so for violating state law and directly contributing to these as well as other opioid-related deaths and overdoses in Kentucky. In his release, the Attorney General said, "Today we are taking action to hold Endo responsible for unlawfully building a market for chronic use of opioids in the name of increasing corporate profits, knowing all along the dangers of Opana ER that led to devastating effects on the Commonwealth." He says his office refuses to sit back and watch families be torn apart while opioid manufacturers like Endo line their pockets at the expense of our communities and our future. In February of this year, Beshear expressed his concerns to the U.S. Food and Drug Administration during an open comment period, saying that the drug's reformulation that allegedly made it tougher to abuse has merely been found to impede one of the many means of abuse, and approving labeling Opana ER as abuse deterrent may mislead patients and providers alike. The FDA requested back in June that Endo remove Opana ER from the market, and the company did announce that next month they would no longer sell the drug, but the Attorney General said that the removal from the market was an important step in battling the state's drug epidemic, but that the damage from Endo's practices had already harmed the people of Kentucky. Too little, too late in that respect. It also quotes a few individuals who lost loved ones, one a mother of a National Guard soldier, he who died in 2006, I believe, from an overdose of Opana ER, one of the many servicemen and women that the Attorney General says was targeted specifically by the company. The Centers for Disease Control and Prevention tied the 2015 HIV outbreak specifically to the injection of Opana ER, and in doing so, the Federal Health Agency identified 220 counties across the country at the greatest risk for similar outbreaks. 54 of those, roughly 25%, were here in Kentucky, the majority being in the eastern part of the state. A few details tonight, but a pursuit earlier today that also resulted in a shooting, a police officer involved shooting at the hands of the Kentucky State Police. It happened in Knott County off Highway 899 that's near Thornsbury Branch Road. The community of Raven was the location. We know that the pursuit lasted for quite some time. It also happened only a short distance from a fatal Kentucky State Police involved shooting at the Raven Mine number 2 just days ago last week. Now, we understand that there was a pursuit, of course, that led up to that scene. The suspect did sustain wounds, initially thought to be not life-threatening, but we have not confirmed that since. We know that that is still under investigation. We'll have more to talk about later, possibly tomorrow, but it appears as though the trooper firing his weapon, whether or not it was in response to fire upon himself or not, that has not been released as of our time. Well, in light of the world we now live in, and past and recent events just over the course of the weekend as well, any and all potential threats must be handled very seriously, as was the case last night and today, after fears of an attack at the McGoffin County High School quickly spread through social media. Fears, however, that police and the schools have now confirmed were not necessary, but warranted at the time, so to speak. 2 Snapchat posts by a McGoffin County High School student quickly made their way around social media, concerning and scaring students and parents, with posts being widely shared that a student had threatened a shooting or some other sort of similar situation at the school today. Immediately after hearing of the situation last night, McGoffin School's Superintendent Scott Helton says he notified police who went to the student's home, and they confirmed that he had made the 2 statements, but that the statements were not specific or violent in nature. And after further investigation and interviewing of the young man, they gave the school the all clear to have classes today.
I got a call around 8 last night from a school employee telling me they had been messaged by a parent concerned about something they'd read on Snapchat. During the conversation, I understood that we had a student who was a senior at McGoffin County High School make a comment on Snapchat that alluded to something going to happen. He did not make any reference to any weapon or anything of that nature. And once we investigated a little farther, we found out that he'd taken one of the comments down and then replaced it with another one, similar in nature. No reference to a gun, no reference to any other students or any other list or anything of that nature, but just made a comment. Upon talking with the principal at the high school, he contacted the family, spoke with the family, and actually spoke with the child, and then I contacted local authorities and had them go out to speak with the young man. And at this point, the young man did not ride the bus to school today. We have the family bringing him into the office, at my office at the board, to investigate a little bit farther into what his intent was. But today, he's created a lot of chaos and a lot of nervousness that we find nothing to substantiate what he was talking about going to happen, but we still take it seriously. We've had local authorities at school this morning just to make sure, and we will continue to investigate and watch and listen for all comments that are out there. We want our children to be safe at McGoffin County High School, and it's sad that we live in a society that we do, but this is what it takes. We've got to be very cautious.
As do parents, the majority of which kept their kids at home earlier today. The parking lot vacant was an obvious sign as to the attendance rates, which I later confirmed stood at about 37% for the high school earlier today, a result of all the fears and concerns. And Helton says that he is hopeful that students will return to their normal schedule on tomorrow, after parents have learned that the school has determined that there is no threat to be concerned about at this time, but that they are still taking very seriously this student's statements and actions, with hopes that other students understand just how serious they must handle anything like this.
As far as how much punishment this young man's going to receive, I can't tell you at this time, but we're going to go back and do some investigation and deal with this situation. Now, I can't speak as far as when he will return to school or if he will return to school at this time. We're going to deal with it to the board's policy and what the legal the courts will allow us to do. There's certain guidelines that we have to follow, but yeah, we're going to push it as far as we can.
The initial and actual post that the student, of course unidentified, actually made on Snapchat, one, to the very best of my ability, appeared to say that McGoffin County schools will hate me tomorrow. That one, as you heard the superintendent say, was taken down and replaced with one that said, "McGoffin County will hate me tomorrow." The superintendent and authorities believe, after speaking with the young man, that it was in response to some degree of a spat or a fight with his girlfriend. And so far, they are content with their investigation, leading to the fact that they believe there was no real threat. And while I have not confirmed, and I'm not sure that law will allow me to confirm the penalty or trouble the student is in, we do not believe that he will be in school anytime in the immediate or near future. I'll be right back. Much more than diesel specialist, Black Smoke Performance is turning out excellent auto body collision paint and repair results with free quotes and estimates on everything from insurance jobs to that ding you got in the driveway. Custom lift kits, bed liners, winches, and accessories, and full diagnostics and repair on anything gas or diesel, from brakes to fluid changes to major auto repair. If you want it fixed, lifted, painted, customized, or just maintained, just call on the team at Black Smoke Performance in Dixie of Sagersville, 100 May Drive, or 349-8785.
There's a lot to be thankful for this November. Friends, family feasts, and fantastic savings from Appalachian Wireless. All this month, get the Samsung GS8 for just $49.99 or the GS8 Plus for just $149.99. Both phones now $100 off the regular price. 2-year agreement required. Better service, bigger savings. That's today's Appalachian Wireless, an East Kentucky network company.
Hi, I'm attorney Jeff Lovely. When hiring an attorney, experience does matter. For over 20 years, I've been representing clients throughout Eastern Kentucky. We are a full-service law firm, representing clients who've been injured in car accidents or at work, representing clients who need to file bankruptcy, representing clients who've been charged with a crime. For all your legal needs, contact my office when it matters. We have 2 locations for your convenience. In Sayersville at 349-4522 and West Liberty at 743-1965.
A motorcycle versus car collision was reported yesterday afternoon on Route 7 just outside of Royalton. That resulted in an area man being airlifted to a trauma center for very, very serious injuries. This was the scene that EMS, rescue, and law enforcement encountered just before you get to Royalton. The operator of the motorcycle still lying in the middle of the road. This was after his motorcycle collided with a passenger car, I believe a Toyota Camry that's not in the frame here, but did sustain serious damage. The injuries were considered to be life-threatening, and the man was airlifted from a landing zone established right in downtown Royalton in front of the new Dollar General store. Here you can see the helicopter making its initial landing to take the victim to a trauma center, an unknown medical facility at this time. Nevertheless, Officer Jeremy Watson shows me where it appears as though the vehicle left the roadway, marks over in the grass, trying to avoid the collision with the motorcycle that was coming in the opposite direction. The impact literally shearing the side of the motorcycle's motor off. You could see the internal gears and parts as it lied there. Also, you could see the scratches in the pavement, if you will, where the motorcycle slid several feet after the collision and the point of impact. The family of the accident victim has also since identified him. Joshua Standifer was said to be on the motorcycle, operating it alone when he rounded the curve and for an unknown reason crossed the center line, says authorities, and then struck the vehicle. He suffered serious injuries, was life-flighted, and has since undergone at least 2 surgeries for injuries that he is still recovering from. However, he was said to be doing much better and recovering from those surgeries earlier today, with possibly more to follow. The operator of the vehicle that the motorcycle struck refused medical treatment at the scene. And a McGoffin County woman was jailed earlier today after writing a check that bounced for several thousands of dollars after a car purchase here in Sagersville. That car still yet to be returned to the dealership. A warrant was issued in the name of 30-year-old Tanika Reisner of Sagersville for theft by unlawful taking for writing a cold check, over $500 but less than $10,000. Sayersville City Police Officer Josh Peace responded to a call from Gateway Motors here in Sayersville, where several days ago, actually back on September the 25th, it's believed that Reisner, or alleged that Reisner, came onto the car lot and purchased a 2009 Chevy Impala. And after purchasing the vehicle, and during which the check was written, or after which the check was written, she left with the vehicle, only for the car lot to later find out that the check was written on a closed account. A warrant issued in her name. Authorities have arrested her just earlier today on the before-mentioned charge. I also confirmed with Gateway Motors that they are yet to have the car returned or see the vehicle. If you have any information on the whereabouts of that 2009 Chevy Black Impala, you can call Gateway Motors or the Sayersville City Police. I'll be right back. To get high-speed internet on their state-of-the-art fiber optic network for all of your home and business solutions, or to watch TV without a contract on over 200 digital channels with superb quality, or stay connected with family and friends with 24/7 telephone service you can always depend on, contact Foothills Broadband today. Or just click on their link to the right to find out how they're working to provide the latest in communications at affordable prices with exceptional service at Foothills Broadband. They're rolling out big, beautiful truck bodies every day, the best America makes in steel and aluminum, with their largest ever local stock of angle, sheet, round, I-beam, expanded, steel, and aluminum in several different finishes for whatever you're working on. And if the dump body you're driving needs parts, they've got them in stock. And if you need a big project fabricated from scratch, they've got you covered at Logan in Sayersville since 1904. Fall and its colors have burst onto the scene at the seasonal shop in downtown Sayersville. Kids' mud pie styles and designs have just arrived, with even more on the way. Little Fashion's excellent for fall, Halloween, and Thanksgiving. And of course, they've got the sweetest of accessories. And ladies' fashions are here, and there's more coming in daily. Amazing sweaters and Carter coats, this fall's must-have item. Dresses, boots, and more on the way. There's just nothing like what you'll find at the seasonal shop in downtown Sayersville, just down from Fraser's Prater Drugstore and the Radio Shack. Like our 100% safe and secure mobile banking app at Sayersville National, we're always working to make your life a little easier, and our mobile deposit feature gives you more freedom and more time to do what you love the most. Just open the app, confirm the amount, and click. You're done. A safe, no-hassle way to manage your money from anywhere in the... Well, you get the drift. Now get the app at Sayersville National Bank, 349-3131.
Hi, this is John Harris at Gateway Motors. We're having a get it out of the mud sale. Everything we have is covered in mud, so if you want a good deal, right now is time to get it.
Yeah, no joke, no gimmick. The road construction is killing them, so John has cut another $1,000 off this super economical 2015 Mitsubishi. It's got less than 22,000 miles, new tires, and it's only $69.95. He cut this '08 Crew Cab Dodge 4x4. It's $5,000 below book. He cut $2,000 off this Ford Escape 4x4 XLT to $69.95. And this 2010 Honda Civic with ultra low miles, only $83,000. His price just too low to advertise. Call today for quick pre-credit approval, $0 down, low income approval, and most payments under $200 a month at Gateway Motors in Sayersville, 349 cars. As at least 1 out of every 5 people will likely get the flu this season, putting hundreds of thousands in the hospital and sadly proving fatal for another 50,000 more. Now is the time for everyone 6 months and older to get their flu vaccination, so you'll be 60% less likely to have to worry about catching it. They've got flu shots ready, so all you have to do is come by and see the people who want to keep you from getting sick just as much as they want to make you well again when you are. Get your flu shot today at Hope Family Medical Center in Sayersville. More top headlines to come right now. Let's start off a new calendar for a new week. Announcements brought to you by McGoffin Farm Bureau. I've got a few announcements for a little later on in the week, but right now with Veterans Day around the corner and on Saturday, tonight's calendar pretty much all veteran related. The Sayersville Free Will Baptist Church is going to have a dinner following services. That's going to be Sunday. Pastor Floyd Arnott and everyone invites, of course, all the veterans to join them for an appreciation dinner following church services. You join them for church at 11 with a dinner, an appreciation dinner following. Now that's Sunday, so backing up just a bit, the actual Veterans Day ceremony will be on Veterans Day, Saturday at 11 in the Ramey Park, where McGoffin County's Chapter 15, the DAV, will be honoring all of our veterans starting at 11. And of course, they are hopeful that all of the public will attend as well to honor our veterans as well. That's Saturday, which is Veterans Day, 11 o'clock at the Ramey Park. Now, also on Saturday, another local organization honoring our veterans with a meal, an annual Veterans Dinner hosted by the Sagersville Masonic Lodge will be Saturday at 3. This is for all veterans and active duty military men and women and personnel. They hope that you'll join them as well. So Veterans Day ceremony Saturday at 11. The Sagersville Masonic Lodge inviting all veterans and active duty to join them Saturday at 3. And then, as I just mentioned, of course, Sagersville Free Will Baptist Church and inviting all veterans to join them for an appreciation dinner following Sunday's services. We invite you to use our calendar anytime you have announcements like these. That includes birthdays and anniversaries too. Turning to funeral service announcements provided on behalf of our friends at the McGoffin County Funeral Home, we've been notified today of the passing of 80-year-old Jency Cottle Allen of Prestonsburg, who passed away on today's date, preceded in death by her husband Elmo Allen. Those left to mourn also include her son Darrell Allen, daughter Teresa Kraft, and host of family and friends. Funeral services for Jency Cottle Allen will be held this Friday at 11 o'clock from the chapel of the Sagersville Funeral Home. The family will welcome friends for visitation Wednesday after 5 and all day Thursday, then prior to Friday's services. Condolences once again can be made at the Sagersville Funeral Home or at sagersvillefuneralhome.net.
I'm attorney Don McFarland. We all know that times are hard, jobs are scarce. Most people that I know are struggling to support their families and make it through each day. Now imagine that you get seriously hurt while working on the job, and the insurance company for your employer refuses to pay wages and benefits while you are injured and cannot afford to pay medical expenses, household bills, and put food on the table to support your family. I can help. If you are being wrongfully denied workers' compensation benefits that you rightfully deserve, then give me a call and let me go to work for you. 349-9000.
A tire more than 25% low, about 8 pounds, makes you 3 times more likely, and worn-out tires 11 times more likely to be in a tire-related crash. Don't take your or their safety for granted. Come in for a free inspection, 6 months, no-interest financing, the best price and best selection at Conley Tire in Staffordsville. Parkway Pharmacy, now open earlier from 8 a.m. until 6 in the evening to better suit your schedule and lifestyle and to help you get better and live a healthier life. And if allergies are bogging you down, they're armed with the very best in over-the-counter relief for adults and your children. Reach owner pharmacist Jesse Rudd and his assistant pharmacist Megan Castle and their staff at 8 o'clock in the mornings or at 349-4400. The Conley racing team, of course, as we have covered earlier in the racing season, was back at it with a new setup. They ditched their nitrous oxide system, which they had gotten down to a science, but in an effort to keep up with the field, so to speak, and the rest of those in their class, they went for a turbo setup, which has proved very effective for them. While they did not win at the World Cup competition in Maryland over the course of the weekend, the car has gone faster in the quarter and eighth mile than it ever has before. And they're now in a couple of different clubs with some pretty good company. Yeah, they've actually got, this was a quarter-mile race. They more than often run eighth mile, but this was a quarter-mile competition in Maryland. And in one pass, the ticket for which you see here, they broke into the sixes for a quarter mile at 6.97 seconds. In another pass, they had a little longer of an ET, but they broke the 200-mile-per-hour mark. So first 200-mile-per-hour pass, first pass in the sixes. And in one of those quarter-mile passes, they registered a 4.48 at the eighth mile point, which is the fastest this car has ever run in the eighth mile. So they are definitely getting the bugs worked out of it, so to speak. Now, they qualified in the field of about 23, 24 cars in their X275 class and made it to the third round when the EFI had a hiccup, went a little lean, and Martin got out of it just as soon as the tree lit green. But nevertheless, it was a big weekend for the Conley Racing team. Made several passes, all within a few hundredths of a second, anywhere from 6.97 to a 7:03. This was at the Maryland International Raceway. There were 35 states, 12 different countries represented as at this World Cup import versus domestic showdown, and they qualified fifth in their class. And had it not been for that hiccup, they had their sights set on possibly a big win. Season's over for now. Can't wait till the next one starts. Can't wait to bring you more news either. Your weather forecast in more detail coming up in just a second. I'll be right back.
Raising the front wheels up, it sets it down, but can the Haltech machine get up top and charge? It's going to be Conley, 701 at 196 miles per hour.
Whoever you're rooting for at the next big game, pick up some of our famous hot and spicy wings or try our new fish dinner at your Sangersville Lee's famous recipe. Or you can always just get a little bit of everything. Hot wings, crispy buffalo wings, dippers, strips, fried pickles, jalapeno poppers, cheese sticks, potato wedges, and more. The game is always better with Lee's. Now to wrap up this first show of the week, I'll do so. Headed out to catch up with my camera. Might be a minute or two short here on the program, but the Sangersville City Council meeting held earlier tonight. It began at 5:30. I know that they were going to, of course, pay tribute and honor former Councilman Tom Frazier, and I'm also thinking that there may have been an appointment to fill his seat for the rest of his term. So look for that on tomorrow night's program. For the rest of your evening, 47 clouds and some showers in your forecast tonight. As for the showers, we will see mainly after 3 o'clock. We've got a break in the action right now, nothing on the radar, but mainly after 3, we'll work in another chance of some showers. Actually, it's not much of a chance. It's a likelihood of showers. This next front will roll through here during the overnight, early morning hours, and then linger throughout much of your Tuesday with showers, mainly up until about 4 or 5 o'clock, I think, tomorrow. Then we'll start to see a little bit of a break in the action, some lingering showers possibly thereafter, but still full of clouds. So during the overnight, pretty much for much of your Tuesday, not all, but much of your Tuesday, we'll see some showers as well. Tuesday night, lingering showers. Can't shake them on your Wednesday. Maybe a 30% chance up to like 8 o'clock in the morning, but I think over with early, mostly cloudy skies thereafter. Temperatures don't go anywhere. 51 and 39 tomorrow, 51 and 39 on your Wednesday, just drier on your Wednesday, and then improving from thereafter. Those improvements coming with sunshine. Mid-50s, partly sunny, partly cloudy at night. All dry on your Thursday. Another cool down in store for Friday. We'll fall down to the upper 40s for daytime highs, but still sunny and still clear. 31 for nighttime lows. For your Veterans Day forecast and for the ceremony in the Ramey Park, it's going to be decent. It's going to be pretty nice, actually. 53 and mostly sunny will be the peak of Veterans Day, so we won't be quite there when the ceremony begins at 11, but it's going to be dry. That's the main thing, and it's not going to be terribly cold either, so a relatively nice forecast, I'm glad to say. 30% chance of some showers late Saturday night. Latter half of your weekend, I think we're going to see clouds and another 20% chance of some showers. Daytime highs right around 55 again on your Sunday. City Council was to meet in a special session this evening. Among other items to be discussed was a special recognition and honoring of former Sangersville City Councilman Tom Frazier. There was also a possibility that they were going to discuss the interim filling of his seat. We'll have that and other news on tomorrow night's show. Good night, and thanks for watching.